Alright guys, welcome back. It is time to get back to do some work on the Zombie Suburban. I've been driving around for a couple of weeks and I've noticed some issues that we need to address. One, AC is not blowing cold anymore. So we gotta tune that up a little bit, so we're gonna throw a can of Freon in there. Probably not gonna show that, don't worry. I'm using a bit of water in my coolant. We are running around 10 or 11 pounds of boost at part throttle running around town, but I don't think that has caused me to blow a head gasket. Let me back up. Sometimes when diesels blow head gaskets, the pressure from the combustion, because it's such a high combustion pressure, will push the radiator fluid through the radiator into the overflow bottle, and then when they let off the gas, it'll suck water into the cylinders, and then they'll blow it back out into the overflow bottle, then they'll suck it back in, then blow it out, then suck it back in. So two ways to lose water on a diesel if you can't find it dripping anywhere. And I'm not finding any drips anywhere, so I'm thinking I've probably got a blown head gasket. The diesels run at much higher compression ratios than most gasoline engines, sometimes twice as high compression ratios, and that alone is enough to let a head gasket go. So I'm not blaming the turbo for a blown head gasket if that's what it is. Sometimes they just happen. I have no idea what kind of head gaskets are in here. We'll have to pull the heads on a different episode and check that out. But first, let's turn the fuel up a little bit. Alright, so this is your 6265 diesel. And your pressure pump is right down here in the middle. You can see all the spider legs coming out from the back side of it there. And the I guess the lever to turn it up is going to be underneath this cover. So we're going to disassemble a few things and get to it, and then we'll give it a little twist. When I first got the diesel, I gave it about an 1/8 inch twist. That's probably good for a non-turbo application, but since we're running quite a bit more airflow, I'm going to probably go another 1/4 and see how that does. It may be overkill, so if we start blowing black smoke, woo, time to turn it back, but I don't think so. We'll find out. Okay, let's see what I need to do to get to this thing. Cruise control may need to be removed. Let's unplug some of these plugs. Let's see, green to the back, orange to the front. We're gonna do this back screw. 1, 2, 3 bolts are out. We got this solenoid laying to the side. When you pull this out, ooh, there's all the people. Well, I mean, there's the diesel. Alright, so now we need to get down into where that little adjustment screw is. Okay, I'm just soaking up the diesel with some paper towels. Looking pretty good there. Alright, so now I've got a 6mm hex wrench in the back here. I'm going to pull this pin out. Takes a little while, a little finagling. Oops, sorry. There we go. A little finagling to get it out. Now I gotta get my magnetic tool. Darn. Be right back. Not really, but there's a little hole, a little hex receptacle down in that little spot right there. So So I'm going to insert my hex wrench. I have no idea what size this is, but it fits. And I'm going to turn it about a quarter turn, so from here to facing here. I think it's tight. Let me get a wrench. Okay, so back with the wrench. And give it a twist. It's the 8th turn. And that's about a quarter there. Not quite a quarter. Tends to want to stop right there though. So I'm going to stop. And let's put this thing back together. Alright, so everything's back together. I also found a bent throttle linkage, which may have contributed to the pedal being a little hard to push, so I straightened that out. When I did, I noticed my TV cable was out of adjustment, so I readjusted that TV cable. It's very important to make sure that it starts moving as soon as the throttle is opened up. As soon as it's cracked, you need that TV cable moving for your 700 R4, or you're gonna burn it out. Okay, so everything's adjusted. There's no fuel in the float bowl, so it's gonna take a few cranks to get this thing started. So let's fire it up. Okay, that was super noisy. Oh. Alright, well, dumbass me left the breaker bar on the crank, and I just pulled a belt off of my pulley. So give me a few minutes to loosen up all my accessories and reinstall my belts, and we'll try this again. It was pretty dry on the Freon. I actually had to jump the pressure switch to get the compressor to kick on. But it's starting to feel a little bit cold. I could probably use another half can or so, maybe a whole can. It's a big system. And it's got a rear AC, big system. And so we'll have to do this another day because I am out of Freon. Alright guys, well I'm back at the Zombie Suburban again. I saw on YouTube a neat little trick that some of the Grand National guys do when they're trying to run a different turbo on their 3/8. I don't know yet if it's going to work on this one, but let's give it a try. First thing is to get the turbo off again. We just did this, so you're probably already familiar with how it happens. So I'm not gonna bore you with the details. Alright, well, I'll go a little deeper. There we go. Into this turbo. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into this turbo here. I'm gonna remove this wastegate completely here, because I am going to thread this rod a little bit farther up. I'm hoping this is a 1/4 inch here. We'll see soon enough. But a couple of bolts, the C-clip, we'll pop this off and we'll put it out on the workbench. And of course these things never go the way you want them to, so they got a bolt that's spinning inside this canister here. I can't seem to force it out with a screwdriver or anything, so I'm just going to cut it. Alright, so I had to cut that stud right off of that housing. We'll have to fix that later. I hate it when that happens. I'm just going to unscrew this. There's no need. Oh, there's some galling going on here. Oh boy. There's no need to measure it because we want just a little bit of preload anyway, so we'll just set it back to where you just have a little preload. Oh boy, that don't look good. Alright, let's see if we can retap these things. Save this thing. Alright, so I'm using a 5/16 die to rethread this rod. I'm going to thread it pretty much all the way up. What do you do? Put this thing upside down. Now to spin this thing. That's gonna bottom too though. Move it over so it doesn't bottom out on the vise. There we go. I'm just going to re-thread it here. That's looking pretty good. And now I need to take care of this thing here. Let's run the tap through here, make sure it's good. Okay, I think that's bottomed out right there. Okay. Alright, so this is the idea behind the mod. Is there's a spring in here that is allowing some 20 to 30 psi of boost out of a Cummins. I think that's what these things are set from the factory, about 20 psi, which is way too much for my GM. So we're going to try to counteract this push with another push from the other direction. So these are some springs I got at Home Depot. They claim the working load limit for the longer spring is 12.35 pounds, which is just about perfect. Alright, let's see here. This is the biggest one. So what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to put that washer there. I'm going to slide this on top. Oh, that's a tight fit. I'm going to have to do a little grinding on this. It's supposed to be. Let's see, the big one is 13/32 of an inch. And I'm cutting these threads out at 5/16. Well, I mean 5/16, double that, that's 10/32. These are supposed to be 13/32. That's probably the outside diameter. What do you want to bet? Let's see, the little ones are 1/4 inch. I'm going to measure that. Where's my caliper? Oh, here we go. That's what it is. That's the outside diameter. Ouch. So I thought I was going to have enough room here. Alright guys, well check this out. I actually found a small spring out of one of my Aeromotive boxes. This is a spring for a regulator that's for a carburetor. So it's regulated down to, I think 15 psi is the working pressure or something like that. Maybe it's 10, I'm not sure, I can't remember. It's been a while since I had that carburetor on the Trans Am. But this will give me a start until I get something better ordered off the internet. So I'm just going to crank this thing down. I want to see how far I can get it to move. I'm at the end of my threads right here. There's no pressure or minimal pressure right there. And let's measure this whole thing here. We'll measure from the edge there. 4.9 inches. So let's see if we crank this down. It's a 1-inch spring. Let's see how we're doing here. So now I've just extended the rod length to 5.07, almost a 1/4 inch. Let's go make it a 1/4 just for an even number. That's maybe a 1/4. So I'm looking for 5.15. Not yet. Alright, there we go. So now I've extended this rod length a 1/4 of an inch out. And let's measure our spring again. Our spring is at 0.741 inches, so almost 1-to-1. 1/4 inch compression of the spring and a 1/4 inch extension of the rod. Now that's not always going to happen, okay? But what it's telling me is that the spring rate here is real close to the spring rate that's in this thing here, so we're getting a 1-to-1 action. So that's kind of cool. Okay, let's see if we can do a little bit more. So I can get a 1/2 inch out of this. Okay, so shooting for 1.5 plus another 1/4, 5.35, 15, 25, 30, 40 is what I want. Well, that's pretty close. Needs a little bit more to get to a 1/2 inch extension on the rod. Let's try that. Okay, there. That's about a 1/2 inch now extension on this rod. And let's see what I did to my spring. Spring is at 0.67. Okay, so I've only compressed the spring 0.3 of an inch, actually 0.32 of an inch, 1/3 of an inch, basically. I've gotten a 1/2 inch of extension here. So, well, I guess we can see how that does. Like I said, I can, well, you know what? Let me go a little bit more because okay, I want to get into this engine. I want to like really throttle it. So, let's do a little bit more. Alright, I got the spring down to 0.607, almost 0.60. I'm just trying to get a nice handy reference point here. That's a little more than the 6.0. Let's back off just a hair. Alright, that should be 6.0. Alright, 0.60 inches. And now my total extension is 0.45, about 0.55, just a little over 1/2 an inch. So let's put this back in the truck and we'll see how it does. Alright, here we go. The next day, I took this thing around the neighborhood. It felt pretty good. Let's see how this thing does on the highway. Sorry the car is so dirty right now, but we're in the middle of oak pollen season here in Austin, Texas. So you'll wash your car one day and wake up the next day and it's covered in yellow pollen. Just the way it is right now. For a few more weeks. Everybody always lets me into this truck. I don't know why.
Poor guy, he's bored and needs a break.
Yeah, maybe. This poor guy needs a break. He's driving a 35-year-old truck. before this guy that let us in gets pissed because we're turning left instead of turning right. Alright, here we go. We're warmed up now. And can you see the boost gauge down there? Yes.
It's hard to see.
It's hard to see. There's 10 right now. And I'm pretty much wide open. There's 11. That's about where I wanted it with full throttle, so that's not bad. I've got the fuel cranked up as far as it will go, and I'm still not blowing any black smoke out the tailpipes. So, what I'm thinking this is a 6.5 engine, but I think I might still be running the old 6.2 injectors. So to get maximum power out of the 6.5, I think we have to go to 6.5 injectors. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks.